Hey guys,
Hey
we're
guys,
Driftwood
we're
Soldier,
Driftwood Soldier, and you're listening to the
the
Watching the
Sunday
Sunday
Sessions
Sessions
Project.
Project.
Well, Wyoming is big as a mother's embrace. I fell into her arms like an angel from grace, like an angel asleep at the wheel of his Ford. Oh, living from the wreckage by the mercy of the Lord. When I woke up, they gave me my Savior's address. I stopped in to visit, to give her my best before catching a bus to some better luck town. She said, won't you come in? My man's not around. 30 years old, I'm still no good at folding. I call every hand with whatever I'm holding. She raised me a skirt, I bet all I could. There's some days I wish that I'd misunderstood. This most days I wish that I'd misunderstood. Well, that first week it slipped on in 2, 3, or 4. And I took what she offered, and I never got more than a single small smile, a hand on my chest. Just a silence spoken by the damned and the blessed. All I know anyway, what I've been told. What do I care if the glue doesn't hold on? That broken down record, a man that she keeps in a bedroom where only her memories sleep. In a bedroom where only her memories sleep. Recollect why I left when I did. It was like being back in that slow motion skid. Marietta's as fixed as a tongue in a groove. Could uproot a mountain, she'd still be unmoved. I wasn't lying when I told her I wasn't trying to stay. I just wanted to hold her. It's not in my nature to get on my knees. I'm leaving Marietta, you do as you please. Farewell, Marietta, you gon' do as you please. Some stories out there don't want to be told. They slip through your fingers when you try to hold them, like a portrait racing itself as it's drawn. Or like Marietta, here and then gone.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming on tonight. So the first song we're hearing tonight is Marietta. Tell us a little bit about that.
Marietta's a song off the album we just released in the fall, Stay Ahead of the Wolf. It's a love song of sorts, insofar as we're able to write love songs. But it's about how complicated it is when people have learned what they know about love from love songs and simple love stories. It doesn't usually work like that in the real world. It's a song that we had the pleasure of having on the record in the studio. We had our friend Katie Otto play some drums on it. Usually we make do with what our feet can provide for drumming, but in the studio we had Katie on there.
Very cool, very cool. So the next song we're going to hear is Rosalie. Give me a little bit of background on that one, guys.
Rosalie's off our first album, Scavenger's Joy, back in maybe 2015.
One of our oldest songs too.
Yeah, it's one of the oldest songs that you can find on the internet. The video of Rosalie that y'all have there is a live video from years later. The first video we did of Rosalie was actually for a songwriting contest, and that was before it was ever on an album.
Nice.
And the judges said that the song was plotting, and that the song is like a real asshole. We didn't win that songwriting contest, but the song has done very well for us. And so that tells you about what we think of songwriting contests.
Exactly. Who cares what the judges say as long as people love it, right? As long as you guys love it. That's actually the goal.
That's the idea.
That's true.
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to hear Rosalie now.
Never had a problem finding women who would love me. Just weren't always the women I would choose. It's always been real easy, but it never really pleased me. Never played a game that I might lose. Walk took longer than I thought. She ordered coffee and a shot of whiskey. Lord, she didn't give a damn about the walk, about the drink, about what anyone might think. I was useless, I was helpless in her hand. But won't you cry over me when I'm gone, Rosalie? When I go and leave you lonesome, won't you cry, cry? I give everything I own not to leave you here alone, 'cause I know you won't be lonesome very long. Minutes, moments, hours later, I was in an elevator, rising, laughing, dancing to a room. Some are shy, some are slow, some like to give a boy a show. She just turned her back and made love to the moon. But won't you cry over me when I'm gone, Rosalie? When I go and leave you lonesome, won't you cry, cry? I give everything I own not to leave you here alone, 'cause I know you won't be lonesome very long. Empty as the hall at 4 a.m. I get a call. It isn't good news, it isn't any news at all. Rose is drunk, she doesn't care. Living large, she won't say where. Every step we climb is more to fall. But won't you cry over me when I'm gone, Rosalie? When I go and leave you lonesome, won't you cry, cry? I give everything I own not to leave you here long, 'cause I know you won't be lonesome very long. I said I know you won't be lonesome very long.
Tell me a little bit about Found.
Found is off Scavenger's Joy. That's our first one again. The music video for it was shot in my house, actually in the same room that I'm sitting in right now.
I was going to guess that. I was like,
in the video, Bobby and I are up there. Now there's a ceiling there, of course. But yeah, this song goes back a way, and it has a secret on it, which is that Bobby's a fabulous bassist, but in the studio, our friend Jake Bruner played marimba on this track. So when you listen to the studio version, it sounds like Bobby's just absolutely losing his mind on bass. But actually, if you listen carefully, you hear that half of the notes are somebody else entirely playing the marimba. That's why you got to watch him play live.
Nice.
it's all about the notes I don't play.
Nice.
Yeah, and all those notes he doesn't play are from the marimba.
Yeah.
All right. So without further ado, Found.
Clouds hung over the city like a sheet metal roof, and I was hungover trying to fall asleep in a metal booth. Every time I woke up, I was older than I was before. Every time I woke up, I was older than I was before. And you won't find me, you won't find me, you won't find me making myself proud. You won't find me, you won't find me, you won't find me saying your name out loud. I was taking a bus downtown, I sat next to a man. He said, son, what's in that brown paper bag clutched in your white knuckled hand? Is that good stuff? Won't you share with me, please? I said, this here's a medicine that's worse than the disease. Well, you won't find it, you won't find it, you won't find it on no drugstore shelf. You won't find it, you won't find it, you won't find it, cause it causes what it cures itself. A woman who lives in our old apartment wrapped herself in both arms, stood there hugging herself in the doorway. She said, I used to love you so much, you still look the same. I used to love you so much, I can't recall your name. You won't find it, you won't find it, you won't find it in no telephone book. You won't find it, you won't find it, you won't find it, cause you don't know where to look. Comes as a surprise. Even though you left out weeks ago, somehow I expect to see you there by the window in your chair. Holding out both hands, asking for nothing now. Holding out both hands, asking for nothing now. You won't find it, you won't find me, you won't find me making myself proud. You won't find me, you won't find me, you won't find me saying your name out loud. You won't find me, you won't find me, oh, you won't find me holding my head high. You won't find me, you won't find me, you won't find me, 'cause you won't try.
Hey, folks, thanks once again for joining us for another episode of the Sunday Sessions. We wish more than anything to greatly thank Driftwood Soldier for supplying us with videos and talking to us a little bit here tonight to tell us about their show and what we have in store. So, hey guys, do me a favor, Driftwood Soldier, introduce yourselves and tell me a little bit about, the background, how you guys got started.
Well, we're a duo out of West Philly. We play gutter folk music. My name's Owen, and I handle the mandolin and the singing and the suitcase and the license plate with my left and right foot, respectively.
Nice.
And I'm Bobby.
That's Bobby over there.
Yep. I play bass guitar and the jangler, or some people call it bottle caps.
Nice. So how did a couple of guys out in West
Those
Philly
people aren't in the band.
as a sound? Like, you guys have a nice, unique, folksy sound. How do you guys, I grew up in Overbrook, so I know West Philly. Where'd you guys' sound come from? Give me a little bit of background here.
Well, I actually grew up in D.C., and then I lived all over the place. I've been in West Philly coming on a decade, and I was playing solo when I landed in Philly, and Bobby and I came across each other. He saw me play, and I knew from having grown up playing jazz and blues bass that everybody needs a bassist, and so I was happy to have the company, and that was back in, I don't know, 2012 or 2013. And we've been rolling up and down the East Coast and a little bit further beyond Ireland and some other places since then.
Very cool. Very cool. So you guys got 2 albums and an EP out. Your last album came out in October. Give me a little bit of background. If we look it up, where can we find it and what should we expect to hear?
Music can be found everywhere online. Yeah, anywhere that you listen to the music, it can be found, from Bandcamp to, all the other places that play music for free. Yeah, and the music, it sounds like gutter folk. I mean,
we're West Philly's premier mandolin bass gutter folk duo.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
If you want to know what gutter folk sounds like, you got to listen to us.
Okay. So actually, now that you bring up gutter folk, you guys are probably the first guys to come along with the genre of that description. Give me a little bit of background. Like, what is gutter folk? Tell me a little bit about it, just out of curiosity here.
Well, the beauty of being the only one is that it means that you define the genre entirely. So if you want to hear the boundaries of gutter folk, you have to listen to all of our albums and all of our future albums, because there's still probably going to be, until there's some kids who are beating us at our own game, then gutter folk is Driftwood Soldier and Driftwood Soldier is gutter folk. But the truth of it is that we have no real genre allegiance. We call it folk music at all because there's a heavy storytelling component to the music that we make. We think stories are powerful, and my job is to write the stories, and then Bobby makes people care about it with the bass. But we don't fit in with a lot of the folk communities. Mostly just we have a pretty eclectic sound, a strange instrumentation, and then we use it any way we want. And so we're not traditionalists, is what I'm saying. And that's left us sort of carving out this space between, what other people would consider folk and punk and blues and rock and a little bit of hip hop, and it all mixes in there, and the result is gutter folk.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit, like, I've seen you guys' percussion session is, basically a box that you're clapping on down there. Tell me a little bit about
You can say garbage. You can say trash. We're not offended. Yeah.
Hey, it adds to the sound. It makes you unique. Tell me a little bit about it. Like, how'd you build it? Did you just decide one day this would sound great? Like, tell me about it.
Percussion has been an evolution. Every piece that we're playing now started out as something different. I used to play a suitcase just because it was the bass drum that packs itself. And I was touring in, pretty ad hoc, it wasn't like I had a big van. So everything needed to pack up pretty tight and be able to pop up pretty quickly. And be carried into a venue or a street corner without too much hassle. I've had different suitcases over the years, and I've played them different ways, you know, different feet, backwards and frontwards. And my current setup was an attempt to put all of that to rest, rather than, you know, playing it in a way that it was just going to break. Or I found a suitcase that I really liked, and I built a little frame for it. And then I took an actual honest to God drum seat that Bobby was using as a bedside table, I think. And I cut it off and put a bike post under it and stuck it onto the top. That might not be in all the videos that you're showing, but it's been what I've been playing for probably the last three or 4 years. And my right foot used to be a coffee can full of bottle caps that I hit with an egg beater. But it was, I liked the sound, but it gave us hell with bigger venues because it was real quiet, and it was usually right up next to the monitors. And so the sound people hated us, you know. I mean, they generally, when we try and explain to them, they just wish that we were another couple of standard, you know, acoustic guitar slinging anybody's. But they particularly hated that coffee can. I'm sorry?
Said when things get back up and going, we are definitely looking forward to actually having you guys come in live, and that's going to be Sean's headache to figure out how to deal with.
Oh yeah.
There, so
yeah, you can.
Yeah, best of luck to you.
Yeah, you can join our fan club of sound people who have petitioned venues not to let us back. No, I switched it over and was using a license plate, which had a much better, you know, sort of snare sound.
nice.
A couple license plate, but they're all made of aluminum. So I busted through those pretty quickly. And someone was telling me that I needed some steel license plates, some antique steel license plate. And I said, I'll be damned if I'm going to go spend real money on an antique license plate just so I can hit it with a bunch of bike spokes and an egg beater. And my basement's full of sheet metal. And so I just took some sheet metal, cut up some ductwork, and that's currently what's on my right foot. And then Bobby's jangler, good Lord, he can explain it himself, but that's how we're really going to cash out of this business, stop playing music entirely and just sell janglers, because that thing's a work of art.
Well, tell us about your jangler there, buddy.
Oh,
But don't tell him too much, Bobby. Don't tell him too much.
Give away the patent information.
Yeah. So, I mean, quite basically, it's a 2x4 with a bunch of bottle caps drilled into the top. That's propped up with a bike spoke spring. So I just stomp on that, and the sound flows out. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Nice.
That's great. So what do you guys?
It's like a choir of angels.
It sounds like it would be.
Yeah.
What hasn't been canceled? Like, what is coming up that hopefully once all of this is over, might we be able to look forward in the future to coming out to see you guys? Anything?
Well, we got an exciting project that we just got word has some funding from the Pennsylvania Humanities Council.
Great, yeah. Tell me.
That's actually sort of because of the pandemic. It's true that all our shows are canceled. We were supposed to be down in South by Southwest this year, and that got canceled right before. And all our spring shows are off too, and who knows about the summer and the fall. But
a little bit about the online project.
The
online
project with the Humanities Council funding and in collaboration with the Philly Folk Song Society is going to be a collective songwriting process for folks in the Philly area, in Philly and the surrounding area. We're going to put up a form. It'll be up sometime next week probably, that has a real simple question. It just says, how have you been? And it has room for a relatively short answer. We're not looking for essays. We're looking for some specific feeling or experience that you've had because that's what we're hearing. Everybody you walk by, you see somebody from 10 feet away, they shout at you on your porch, "Oh, how you been?" You're like, "Well, I don't have time to write a novel about it. But I got time to share one thing." And we're going to take all that and we're going to tie it up together somehow into a song. And so everybody who contributes something is going to get a copy of the song sent to them. It's a real basic premise, but we think it's going to turn out something special. So
out of curiosity, our viewers here, is there a way they can contribute to that, even ideas or thoughts as you're opening that?
For sure.
Tell me a bit about it.
The best way to do it, if people are in the Philly area, because this is somewhat regionally specific, is to follow us on social media, Instagram, Facebook, and the like, and then you'll see when we post the form, which will be in the next week. That's likely the easiest way for people to stay in touch with us in general. We do have a mailing list too. And we'll be sending out something on the mailing list with the link to this form too.
Gotcha. So is there any, specific website other than social media you guys have that people can follow you at, just to, follow up, double check, see what's going on with you guys?
Sure. Believe it or not, we got to driftwoodsoldier.com first. So driftwoodsoldier.com it is.
Awesome. Hey, thank you guys very much for, coming down today, sharing some of your videos with us to allow us to have a new episode to share with our audience. We greatly appreciate that. Before we head out, anything I forgot to ask or miss?
No, if people want to hear what we're about, it's all available on our albums. Bandcamp is a great place to buy it. Bandcamp's waiving fees on the first Friday every month, so that's a great time to buy it if you've been listening to it on Spotify or on Apple Music or YouTube or whatever, and you want to get the album, send it to a friend. But Stay Ahead of the Wolf is our most recent one, and we're real proud of that one. It was a couple years in the making. We had some amazing collaborators, some local musicians like Katie Otto and our friend Eric Sherman, Jake Bruner, and got mixed by fancy people out in LA. We had a songwriter we respect, Aaron McKeown, doing some of the pre-production with us. It was a great team that helped us put it together. So that's where I'd start people. Go find Stay Ahead of the Wolf, and if you like that, dig a little deeper, and you can see the true extent of Gutterfolk.
Awesome. We're definitely going to check out Stay Ahead of the Wolf. We're going to keep up with that. Thank you guys so much for helping us, have another episode tonight and keeping this thing going in the quarantine and all the craziness. I'm sorry we couldn't all be here together like we had originally planned, but once all of this is over, we definitely want you guys to come down and drive Sean nuts about how to mic up all your crazy, great, instruments there. We look forward to seeing you guys in the future. So, folks at home, thank you very much for tuning in.
It'll be our pleasure.
Show. Have a good night. We'll see you next week. Check out everybody on Facebook, Spotify, wherever you find videos or audio. Thank you very much. Good night.
Hey, guys.
1, 2, 3, 4. My cousin Gabriel was an angel, and everybody knew it. He walked through the world with a sort of smile. He carved from the belly of the sun. You could not have loved him more than I loved him. You could not have loved him and not done what I done. The road washes out every year, this time of year. The road washes out every year. The road washes out every year, this time of year. The road washes out every year. He said, brother, can you hold this for a minute? All he had to say was, brother, I would have never let it go. There's no crime known to no court of law like the sin it would be to question an angel and never feel his grace no more. The pro watches out every year, this time of year. The pro watches out every year. The pro watches out every year, this time of year. The pro watches out every year. Gabriel don't call and Gabriel don't write. He don't visit. My sister said she heard he's living down in Arkansas. The chaplain in here wants me to pray for forgiveness, but he's never met an angel. He don't know nothing at all. Don't need no Bible to tell you to wear warm clothes in the winter. You don't need a preacher to tell you God don't want to be your friend. No, I'ma grab your son, mama, get your daughter, hold her close and teach her. No man is an island, an object, a caged bird, a stranger, angel, amen. The pro watches out every year, this time of year. The pro watches out every year. No, no, no. The pro watches out every year, this time of year. The pro watches out every year.